Let's see what we got going on here. Good here. Right, yeah. Good. Let's do that and see how that works. Close that. Let's just see who's on. Fine. What's up, Coin Dragon? How are you doing, man? What's up, Paul? Like I have allergies and whatnot, so like if it sounds like I'm getting sick, I'm not actually getting sick. It just sounds like that. So I apologize if it sounds rough right now because reasons. Because reasons. All right. Hey, we got numismatic picker. We got Trey. Let's see. Cousin Jeff. Hello. We got Jeff Stanley. How are you, good sir? Where's the man, the myth, legend? There she is. There he is. Multiple Jeffs. We need more Jeffs. More Jeffs. 2 Jeffs is not enough. We need more. More Jeffs. There we go. All of the Jeffs. Hello, all of the Jeffs. That's right. Jeff, another Jeff. Coin Dragon, I sent you a link if you want one on Facebook, sir. Let's see what else. If you want, if not, it's cool. other Jeff. You know what, Stanley? That's exactly why that I changed my name to CJ. In 5th grade, there was like 4 Chris's in my class, and that's when I changed my name to CJ, and I've been going by CJ ever since. And that way, it's just a lot easier to tell the difference between us and whatnot. You know, the simple things. The simple things. You have an uncle, CJ? It's what's kind of funny is that I've only known or seen like probably 5 CJs in real life. I have it. It's for being as I guess easy as a name would be. Like it's not like I don't see it used that much. Like I don't know. It's just a thing, I guess. His name is Clarence. Yeah. Clarence Jones or Clarence James. Johnson is also another common middle name. But like Jones or James. John is another one. El Drago.
How goes it?
What goes?
Excellent.
What's up, Jason Patton? How you doing, man? Yeah,
I'm not too scabby.
I'm just kicking back. The title of this stream is "Future of Coins," because one disturbing trend that I've noticed is really heavy on the Facebook groups, as I'm sure that you've probably seen. Is one like the posts, dude, like they're getting rough.
Hey, they're brutal.
Like there was one that I know Paula saw it, that this person posted 28 pictures, and it was like common wheats and then a couple of like destroyed coins, and they wanted $5 for it. And I'm like, this is like 10 cents worth of coins. Like what is going on right now? Like is this a legit thing? Like is this real?
Sadly, it may be.
Oh man, that and like there's a couple of very specific people. I'm not going to call them out because they're really easy to see. That they just post coin after coin after coin after coin. What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? It's like
Letters.
Take a second and just like you use that thing in between your ears and figure it out. If you don't want to learn, that's fine. Then, but at least have like, the comments that are given, like at least respond to that. Because it's like
don't respond. Yeah, don't respond just to respond. Respond after processing what you've read.
What's up, Coin Junkie? So like and the one thing that I thought was really interesting is I'm like I posted to this one guy. I'm like, hey, I'm thinking in my head, this is like your 30th picture about, hey, is this a DDO? I'm like, okay, yeah, we've all been there. I am raising my hand because I attest that I was there too. Like I've done it and I get it, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a step back and be like, hey, have you looked at any of the online references, just to compare your coin with what are listed for, known double dice to see if you can match anything? No response.
Which should make sense. If it's something new.
Yeah, I'm like, here I am. I'm getting ready to give you like the toolbox, right? I'm like, I'm just about like, I'm holding it out, giving you the toolbox, and it's just silence. I'm like I'm trying, bro. Like I really am.
Well, hopefully they left to read it some more and just forget to come back and comment. But I sincerely doubt that's the case.
But then, like, and this one is ultimately like, my personal favorite. Okay, so my personal favorite.
Go ahead.
Is this one that happened tonight? And I'm sure it happens to you. It happens to Paula. It happens to Trey. It happens to like everybody because we know these situations, right?
Yes.
And again, I don't have to call out anybody because you guys already know. Like, no, it's not hard to find this. but so like I go on there, I'm like, hey, this is what you got. Like what you have is something that's very common. You can find it across, this range of dates because of this reason. And straight up says, thanks, but that's not what it is. After the question that came with the photo says, what is this? I'm like, did I just...
Let's see, it's round. It looks like it's made of metal.
It is a coin.
Yes, we've identified a coin.
I'm like, so specifically, This was a die chip and the date.
I've been to that point, dude. Seriously.
And it's like, so like here we are. I'm like, okay, this is a die chip. These are extremely common, right? And anybody that's worked with, that's done any kind of coins in the 50s, especially, everyone knows
50
this is
ridiculous.
Yeah, they're just wrecks, right? Because all they did was just run the dies into the ground, right?
Big time.
People know that, right? So I'm like, hey, just let you know this is what it is, and it's not really a variety because it's extremely common.
Right.
So basically, and it just escalated, and there's like 3 or 4 other people saying the exact same thing. Well, finally, a moderator just shut commenting down on it because it got to that point, and I'm about
to
what
pull the trigger, dude.
What is going on right now? And it's just like, and it just continues. Like I had another one just the other day that this guy says, "Hey, is this a DDO error?" I'm like, oh, for freak's sake,
Paula.
dude. For freaking A, man.
Right. Like, yeah, exactly, Paula.
Oh. Like, and so, yeah, like a DDO error. I'm like, okay, number one, like, DDO is a variety, not an error. Right? And then somebody else commented on that that it's there's no variety, right? And again, silence. So it's like, or like the post. So there's one guy that that posted the one that I was just talking about. And he has like 12 posts about Morgan dollars that what do you think the grade is? 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 Only showing you the front of the freaking coin.
All I can do now is just be sarcastic. I have gotten that bitter at this stuff, man. And Paula's right too. I just start ignoring them. Because I will just jump in and be sarcastic left, right, and center. Oh my God. You cannot be that. Yeah.
But so
it's true.
The title of this, and I'm really not expecting a lot of people even to show up tonight. So like, I'm really not that worried about it because
what time?
I'm just nobody. I'm just nobody. It's fine. I get
whatever.
But like it is getting like really rough. So what like I think Paula had said that that it's starting to get closer to holidays, so people are like reaching, and I get it, and I 100% get it, right? Like,
that's a good point.
But
at the same time, patience has its limits.
Yeah, but there is like there's so much else that somebody could be looking for, right?
Yes.
Like you and I both know this thing I have in my hand, DDRs, right? You just
man.
Right. This thing in my hand, right? I was trying to think of what it is because I don't know. My brain's gone.
Okay.
It's gone. It left. It went out the door. I haven't seen it since Tuesday. Just I don't know.
Back to the chat.
And DDRs in Lincoln sense, especially 97 and 2005. really common. You get a bunch of them. Those are true varieties, right? Even if they're minor. I mean, I found one that hadn't even been listed yet, and yes, it's kind of minor, but it actually has doubled columns on both the left and the right.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and it's a 2000 Denver.
I don't think I found one of those. I like the ones where the column doubling is angled.
Oh, I love those too. Those are awesome.
I collect those especially.
Yeah. I got the what is it, the 2006 with the things going on both sides angled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, wow. That one. Yeah, I found one of those. I was like, what? But and so like that 2000, like I had looked through the three big resources, right? Vita Vista, Copper Coins, and Wexler. There we go. See, my mind, it's coming back slowly. It's like a slime coming in underneath the door, right? So I checked all three of those. Can't find a reference. Now there is a possibility that one has been located, attributed, but not listed. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take that into account. So I'm like, so I sat on this coin because I found it when I was doing a stream with Blues coins, right?
Okay.
So I found it when I was doing anything with him, and I just noticed the right side of it, because one of the things that I was keeping kind of in the back of my head was that the doubling has to be a certain size in order for it to be attributed.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that. So I'm like, okay, the size of this meets that criteria. I'm like, okay, so I held on to it for probably a solid month before I even looked at it again. And but then like I was showing somebody in Blues is on, and Blues is like, hey, there's some on the left column too. I'm like, what do you mean there's some on the left column? And I look at it and I kind of turn the coin around. I'm like, oh, there is. Oops. Didn't even see it. Like I saw just that section on the right hand side, and that's
I've locked into stuff like that too. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and it's right there. Right? And this is coming from an experienced like coin person, right? Well, at least I consider myself experienced, not expert, experienced. There's a clear difference.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, so I sit on this coin. I'm like, all right. So if there's nothing that has been listed at this point, like it is my own determination that I believe that this is what I think it is, and it would be worth for me to see if I can get it attributed, because I don't feel like one has been attributed yet. Right?
Gotcha.
So and that's my own determination, and knowing that the costs of doing the attribution will far outweigh the value of the coin, because we are talking about a super modern Lincoln set with minor class 8 doubling, right? Or class 9, 8, whatever it is.
I'm kind of with Chuck on the 9 now.
Well, but if you talk to Wiles, it's 8. So whatever it is, that one class.
Gotcha.
The class 8.5. I hear. I'm just gonna draw it in the middle.
I was just gonna say
8.5. There we go. Knowing full well that through all the research that I've done, that it will never be worth more than the cost of the attribution, right?
Right.
But I did it anyway. And the same reason that I sent coins to Rick Snow.
Mhm.
The 1883 Snow 7 that was confirmed as being a Snow 7.
Right.
That one being confirmed as a Snow 7 is basically the cost that that it took to do the attribution on those coins.
Mhm.
So I am very happy with that. And the other one was really a gamble. Because that's one of those other ones that I had sat on that coin after receiving it and looking over it. I had sat on that coin for probably 3 weeks, looking over it like every couple of days, and I still see what I see. I still see a horizontal bar just north of the horizontal bar on the one.
You just, you send it along for the ride with the other one.
Right. And so
I do see what you're seeing too. I see exactly what you're seeing.
Right. And if on one of these things on my computer, I actually have the overlay, but anyway, so and the overlay matches perfectly. And that's why I was like, man, like I'm having a hard time disputing this to myself.
Right.
So, and I can ask other people to look at it, be like, hey, like, what do you think? And, obviously through the internet, even with video, it's a lot harder without the coin in hand.
Right.
Because that's one of the things. It's because
you can tilt it, you can change the lighting.
Yeah, like there's a lot of physical dexterous things. There's a word in there. I just whatever that is. Touchy feely. Touchy feely of the coin.
No touchy fishy. Or maybe a little touchy.
To do to the coin to bring out different elements. And so I sat on this one. I was like, you know what? I'm already sending this one in. So if one of these comes back what I think it is, then it would be worth it. If both of them came back what I think it was, then it would be amazing. Yeah. But if none of them came back, then I would have to. I would probably have to go back to the drawing board because there's clearly something that I've missed.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that goes back to that I have matched up everything that I can.
Mm-hmm.
That I can match it, that I can reference it, that I can everything that I can with the condition that the coin is in. And I was like 80% sure.
It happens, man. You got 2 out of 4 points on the road trip.
Right. So, like, is there a good way to have a medium that this is going to be a loaded question. You know it.
Yeah, I'm leaning one way, and I'm thinking that being technical yourself, you're probably leaning the same direction.
Is there a medium that can be used to post pictures? I mean, and this is outside the coin Q&A. I mean, I'm just talking in general outside of the coin Q&A, because that is a great setup, but it doesn't reach a lot of people. Like it reaches people, because people have heard about it. But how do we reach more? And do you have, whether it's like the thing that I think about on the Facebook groups is when you look at everybody's icon, they're just somebody, right?
Right.
So there's really nothing to say that this guy CJ, he either knows the stuff or he doesn't know jack squat.
Like a credentials or a rating system or something. Maybe I'm not following.
Well, yeah, like something visual, so that when you type something in, that it can carry weight.
I got you.
Because then when you look at these postings, right, of these hey, this is what I found in my pocket, what machine do I put it in to get my $5,000 that YouTube says is worth, like that one, right?
Exactly.
Because we all know.
Yes, we do.
But when somebody goes on there and posts information, whether it's a link, whether it's a playlist or a video, whether it's just in like basic information, right? That it doesn't have to be their avatar or like maybe possibly their name or something that would signify to them that, hey, this person is like, because the one thing that I hate seeing, and it drives me absolutely bonkers, is somebody who posts questions and then they say, I need the pro's response.
It's like, I'm right there with you.
No, if you really want a professional, then you need to not post it on freaking Facebook. Exactly. Like there's number one. Now, if you want to post it and then like understand where like where people are coming from, then that would be where I'm thinking. And Bill 5S does carry a lot of weight, but there's no way to have Bill go into onto all of these forums. He clearly does not have time, or like he has more important things to do. Like 100% he has more important. And then the same thing as what Paula just said is
I remember
that when people like are telling Chuck that he's wrong, it's like, it's a name and it's an icon, right? So like what if possible could something be done differently than what exists right now, so that if somebody is posted somebody posted it in a forum, that they would have some kind of designation or something, like their name highlighted. Like I don't even know how it would work. I mean, I ideally, like I know how it would work if I did it in my head, and it would be created a new group, and that just goes back to like, then you will have, and because you can set like the titles for people, right, like the badges, or I don't know what exactly
I have run many PHP forums before, 3 or 4, I believe. One was private, but 3 were semi-commercial. I mean, they were on the internet,
but it's one of those things that like, how like I wish there was a way that if you like posted something, or I posted something, or like Paula or Trey, Like, and it said like coin connoisseur like afterward, right?
There's something that the masses know about too, because you can say 5-star this, that, and the other till the cows come home, and like Paula said, they'll still see you around.
Right.
Another thing, like you said, stay off Facebook and Twitter and Instagram or something. Have something a little bit different.
But the only problem to that is, like, number one, how many people use Facebook? A ridiculous, stupid amount, right? How many people use Twitter? How many people, like, if you do something outside of what the standard protocol is, then you're having to build something from scratch.
True.
And it would basically be in direct competition with those, because Facebook is easy to use.
You mean something general? I was thinking like coin oriented only.
That's what these groups are supposed to be for.
Yeah, but like you said, everybody's on there, and the trolls, they get kickbacks and stuff like that sometimes too, just for doing what they do, I think. I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there is a right or wrong answer. I think a lot of it just has to do a culture change. There's definitely not that much education out there. I mean, there is, but there's not. I mean,
you hit the nail on the head. I was going to say something earlier too, and it seems to me that collecting anything to, I don't want to say like a specific age group or anything, but to younger people, collecting anything seems a waste of time. And it's kind of a shame, because when I start hearing stuff like that, I'm thinking, whoa, what's going to happen to coin collecting next,
As long as coins exist, they will be collected. Just like as long as baseball cards exist, they will be collected. As long as stamps exist, they will be collected. There's all of these things that are staples in our culture that have existed for eternity, right?
I hope
and
so.
they will be collected. Now it may fluctuate as up and down according to kind of how things are economically, or
true.
Materials, or because for example, say we changed our coinage, right, and we went to polymer coins or dual metal coins. What would do that to all of the? What would that do? I'm going to learn how to speak English tonight. What would that do to the coins that are in circulation right now?
First day of my new lips.
They would make them 10 times more valuable. Because if they are stopped being produced, then they will eventually become more rare.
True, but you got to think too. What's the first thing most people ask when they say, okay, I got this from my grandfather's collection? It's probably like a common worn mercury dime or something. What's it worth?
What is it?
That's all they're concerned about. What's the value? Is it worth hanging on to or not?
Right. And the number one problem of that is the culture of now, right? And we all know it. It is the biggest culture of now. And it's, what am I doing now? Where can I get my money now? What is this worth now? And some of that, I will say, is culture. And that feeds into what we see on YouTube. And I'm not talking about anything specific, but we all know those things that exist. You can find this coin; it's worth $5,000,
right?
Because they're everywhere, and they all have tens of thousands and millions of views. Because
it goes right to their instant gratification, right there.
Exactly, and that's where culture plays into that, right? Because it's the now generation.
Exactly.
No, I guess not generation, but it's the now culture.
Yeah, definitely.
When and they are not the ones we should focus our attention on. We need to help the serious ones develop their knowledge and leave the quickly. The only problem with that, Paula, is that the numbers of those people versus the actual collectors are insurmountable. You will have 1,000 of those people versus one of a serious collector that actually wants to learn. And that's why those videos carry such a huge following, views. I'm not sure.
It has to do with money. It has to do with getting it now.
Right. But just like anything, there is a way. I don't know what it is, but
and this is just a point of view from somebody in the United States too. Other countries, right, it's probably completely different too.
There is a way to have good, accurate information that that fulfills the now. That magic formula, I couldn't tell you, man. But yeah, I know and it may not just be a single formula. Maybe it has to evolve a little bit. But it's the Veruca Salt syndrome. oh yeah, that's a good one. That took me a second, but yeah, I agree.
What's
up, Jeep?
Hey, Jay.
Daddy, I want it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
She was a bad egg.
So there is, and so like, and Paula, I've thought about that too. It's one of those things that, like, I will be straightforward with this one. I understand why people click on the videos, right? And I mostly agree with that. The exception that I have for that process is that they don't necessarily say why it's valuable. And that's the part that would be so easy to put in that same video when it's already 10 minutes long.
They won't watch anything past 3 minutes, which is like the length of a music video these days.
So, what I've always said, and I've had a lot of people on YouTube tell me that what I'm doing with my channel is incorrect. It's not the way to do it. But I feel that there is a fine balance, right, between live streams and videos. And it's just finding the right balance that works with who you want, like who you want to bring. Hold on, let me read this. It's because most of the content creators don't know what's valuable. And Captain Jigga, that is 100% correct. Because if you search for, you guys will love this one, 1982. How many videos are you gonna get up? Hundreds.
Valuable 1982.
Right. And here's the part that gets me, right? Is so you search up the 1982 and you have 10,764 videos that come up.
I'll get a headache.
And yet then you go into the forums, right? And every single person, you just search in whatever forum that you go into, right? Just search 1982 and see how many posts come up. Because I actually, and this is probably bad of me, because
1960 D.
This makes me like out to be kind of an a-hole, but this one time already. I just had kind of like that breaking moment.
That moment,
and I was commenting on the 1982. I was like, what you have is a comma date, and it's not anything. It's not anything valuable, and like you could have just done a simple Google search, right? And they got really offended, and I'm like, okay, hold up, like you knew from somewhere, you knew that the 1982 small date was the one to look for. You already knew that. So you read it somewhere or saw it somewhere.
82D, but yeah.
Well, they had a 1982 small date. They had that right.
Oh,
but I was like, so they already have that first step that they need to look for a 1982, and it has to be a small date. So they've already done some learning that like step like A.5,
A sub 1, A sub 2.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and they got really offended, and somebody else came in and said, hey CJ, you don't have to be rude. I'm like, excuse me?
Oh my god, no, that's it.
I'm like, for real? I'm like, you could literally do a Google search for 1982 penny, nothing else, and you would literally get the answer that you are looking for. Same thing for the 1960D. Yeah, excuse me?
It seems like everyone is trying to out-troll the next troll.
So, like, the 1960, is this small or large date? 1970, is this small or large date? 1982, is this small or large date? Like, all of those things, like, like, they have already hit step A, right? Because they know that there's a large and a small date.
Jeff. Sorry. You did a South Park reference.
Step 1, find coin and coin roll. Step 2, question mark. Step 3, profit. Yeah. Only it's like step 1 is find coin, and then steps 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are all the crap in between, and then step 10 is profit.
Yes, maybe.
Exactly, Paul. They already know that there is a small and large date on those dates. And that is something that your average Joe doesn't
not gonna know.
Yeah. They will not know that. So they have already had to take a step. One step. They've already had to do it. And then I'm like, you could have just like finished putting your foot down on that Google search, and that would literally give you the answer. But no, you have to go into a Facebook group.
The very first post that said money.
You had to go into a Facebook group, take the picture, upload the 9 pictures that you took of the same stupid coin that looks like hot garbage fire
from the moon,
and then ask a question about large dates and small dates. I'm like, you have already done 13 times more effort to ask somebody and wait for the answer than just to finish step step A and would have given you your own answer?
CJ, my friend, these are the posts that you can actually feel the IQ points draining away from you. Hence why I stepped away from a few of them.
But like the thing that kills me is like, when did step A happen?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
You had the right idea, but
did you go into Google and type in 1960 penny? Because right there would have given you an answer. How did you know that there was a small date and large date? Where? Because in that process would have given you the answer that you were looking for right now.
Where's the nearest wall?
Like, and that is hey, good night, Trey. Thanks for coming in, man. And that's the thing that like I struggle with. It's got to be like so Miss Arch Nemesis. I should get Youper up here. This would be entertaining. Youper, you want to come up here? Because this is highly entertaining. Yeah, yes, Miss Youper. Where is Amy at?
I'm not sure. Texas still, I think. Guy. Listen, Paula.
You got to spell it correctly though.
She can't tonight.
It is Dubble.
Yeah, like Chuck.
Dye. You gotta spell it correctly.
Past tense, died.
Oh, she can't tonight. Okay, died. I just sent it to you, so my bad.
It's like, what is it? Tie-dye? Come on, what's going on here?
She's all over.
She is.
But so it's like it goes back to like, you know, there. Thank you, Paula. That double die. That right there. That's what I want to see. And I will. Okay. I'll tell you guys right now. The next post that I get that asks about a doubled die, I'm gonna type that. Okay. So just heads up.
You're slowly coming to the dark side.
Jason, what I guess rambling about is kind of the degradation of
where's it going? Where's the hobby going?
Of coin knowledge. Like I don't know exactly kind of what specific subject. Some of the things that I'm talking about is on the Facebook groups, right? There's a lot of posts on the Facebook groups that are just like they actually put in like a ton more effort to upload pictures and ask questions that they could literally just answer themselves. And with actually less effort.
God help this world in 20 years.
What you got? Oh, is that your 77? No.
That 70, is the
71?
Yeah. And it's kind of neat because you know what I got it holding it on edge? Oh, it probably won't show in the scope, but it's that green dragon I got from you.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. It holds it up perfect. I mean, it doesn't grab onto it or anything. It works perfect. But yeah, that's the one I got from that roll from Robert.
Nice.
I was like, it was two enders, the tail enders where you can't tell what date it is.
Yeah, tail.
And I opened it and I saw 77. I'm like, oh crap! The best I can hope for is like a sick clash or something, or maybe a gut.
Right.
And I'm just going through them, and I didn't even feel the rim. I just put it under my loop, and I'm going around them, and oh, look at that! Fresh freaking clip on it right there. I bought a couple of those Ever Slabs, or what do they call them? Quick Slab, yeah.
Yeah.
I bought a couple for I was going to put my key dates that I've got in my dance car right now, I was like, oh, this might not be such a great idea. So I got a couple of these. I'm going to put those in. And I might throw that clip in there just for giggles, too, because I got a free one. Okay, how much?
So I want to bring up this point from Captain Jigga.
Yes. Sorry.
He says on the positive side, and I talk about this all the time, we today have so many more resources towards coin collecting. That is 1,000% correct. But why are they not being used? What makes them either inaccessible or too hard to be used? Either people don't know about them, they're too hard to use, they're not readily accessible. Like what's the roadblock? Because like Google, I mean,
everybody uses it every single day.
Everybody uses it, and so there has to be something, right? There has to be something. Like I don't even know what the something is, right?
It's got to be something like, well, look at the ones that they look at. It's always like they have all the action shots and the fancy screen stuff and this, that, and the other going on, like a freaking video game, more or less. Insane entertainment? I really don't know.
Well, I mean, but that's really is like what is the hold on. I use them and direct people towards the right sources, and that's excellent, Captain Jigga, and that's what everybody, I believe, does and should do. But then exactly what Paul is saying. We have some of the best people in coins, right? And they are dedicating their time and to answer these questions for free live. And where is everybody?
There's got to be a simple way of reaching more people. I have started now. Not like I have a gazillion followers, but I had an old Twitter account that I started going back to more for like news updates than anything. And I posted a few coin pictures, and I got a couple more followers. I have been, sharing links to stuff like the Q&A and stuff like that lately. Mm-hmm. And is it helping? Hurting? Who knows? I'm seeing some new people come in. I think there'd be more.
See, that's one thing that I think goes back to. There is no way to market to everybody on YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. So number one about growing a channel, because you can basically consider the Q&A to be its own channel, like pretty much, right? The number one is, and this is true across all business and marketing, is how do you reach your customers? Mm-hmm. How do you reach new people, right? And
as inexpensively as possible.
You cannot compete or reach out to everybody in the YouTube world. You can't. It is impossible. I mean, you are trying to compete, a congregation of, say six channels,
right?
In one up against, one channel that has 180 million or 800 million subscribers. Like you can't compete against something like that. Now, going back to what I was talking about before.
All right, Amy, take care.
All right, Amy, have a good night. Get some rest. Of what I was talking about before is if if it was to reach out to new people, like the best thing to reach out is to reach out where they are. That's why I'm saying it's like Facebook, right? It's really easy to reach out on Facebook because you can post in a forum and you can hit 500 people.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that like it's got to be more than that. Like if there is one thing that could be done, and a lot of it is just to reach out, is go to where the people are, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on YouTube. My phone is blowing up and I have no idea why. I'm getting messages that say, "Hey, you suck," and stop talking and stuff. But it's all good. But it's like it's to reach out to where people are.
Sorry, I was sending that to somebody else.
Oh well. Thanks, Frank.
Yes.
What the Frank? Because that's how we have to reach out to people, because I guarantee, and here's where I kind of get like on my soapbox. So obviously I don't know squat, and I'm okay with that. I accept that.
Mm-hmm.
But even if like it would take everybody in the coin community to put out a video on their channel saying, "Hey, this Thursday, come to the Q&A. It's going to be wherever," and how many people that would reach, right? But that's asking a lot of people.
That's true.
Some people, it's not asking that much, because it's just a quick, hey, I'm just gonna record this video, be like, hey, everybody come check out the Q&A. It's gonna be over on what's it we're gonna talk about some coins. So if you have pictures, here's the email, blast it on the screen, and then peace out. Like 3-minute video, quick, right to the point. It can even be less than that. But there are a ton of people that are on YouTube, and they are just there to receive content. They are just there to consume content, and there's nothing wrong with that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's what I was on YouTube before I decided to start my own channel, right?
Right.
And that's fine. But what about everything else? What about if everybody that had a Facebook posted on their own personal, or if they have businesses or whatever, say, hey, come check out the Q&A, and then how many people that would reach? And then go to Twitter. How many people is that going to reach?
Yep.
Like you could have your own hashtag coin Q&A, right? And that becomes a thing.
Twitter, Instagram.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Your form of social media here. Yeah.
Because really, like, social media is the one thing that is so stupidly, massively complex.
Oh yeah.
That one person can't do it.
No.
Right. What's up, Bigfoot? One person just can't do it. But imagine if you had 10 people. Imagine if you had 50 people.
I agree.
Imagine if you had the 100 people that come to Ken Peavy's channel for the big show every Sunday night.
Mm-hmm. Which I was wondering about.
About what?
Big Show.
His internet's not working.
Oh, still wonky? Ah, bummer.
Yeah.
I missed the memo.
Bigfoot, you are welcome. You can get addicted to flying eagles and 20 cents all day long. You can blame me for that. I'll take that.
Yep. And CJ's really saying, "Oh crap, competition."
That just means I got to get my set done first.
Yep, there you go. Awesome.
But
but that was awesome.
But it's and it's one of those things of like how many people that like, and it's not even like it's not even a branding thing. It's just basic like the I'm gonna take one step back. The branding thing helps because it shows unification, right? It shows like, yes, there are different channels, but we're all doing the same thing. So there's that, and that's great. That absolutely works. But what about all those other people that haven't even heard about it? When a Facebook message takes how long? 4 to 10 seconds. A Twitter message takes, 24 characters. We have a massive ability to communicate across the globe.
Mm-hmm.
Like we as people, right?
I don't know if you heard her, but she just like jumped at me out of nowhere here. Let's see. Yeah,
now,
but they have to want to learn, and they have to be interested in it too.
Well, but take a step back. What if the people that were interested in it were sending out information to their circles, the people that they touch?
Mm-hmm.
Because I guarantee anyone that has ever looked at a coin and there was something with it, they thought, that's weird.
True. Even if it isn't anything valuable, if you happen to be like one of those people that notice stuff too.
Yes, exactly. That even if they don't have like, what if that we could get those people that that they just want to learn one thing, right? They just want to say, "Hey, I got this coin. What is it?" Just that far. Be like, "Hey, this is a 19 what do I have on my desk? A 1930S." So it was minted in 1930. The S means that it was minted at the San Francisco mint facility, and there's X number minted.
Exactly.
Like, what if they could, if they come to Coin Q&A, or they like somewhere where they could just be like, "Hey, I just want to learn this one thing and be out." Well, how many people are like that though?
Interesting.
Not the so I'm delving outside the I'll call it the clickbaiters, and outside the serious collectors. What about the people that just want to learn a little bit, like and be okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's nothing wrong with that.
No. And if you decide to go further, then cool, whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So there is, I guess I could call it a spectrum, right? Of coin collectors. You got the range from the, I just want to know what this is, how much it's worth, and where I can get my money on one side. And then you got to the other side where, I know X amount about every coin that has ever been produced. Like, that's a pretty wide range. And there are people that are, just notch number 2, where they're just like, "Hey, I just, I thought this thing was weird. Like,
noticed it, wondering if I could
noticed it." And honestly, I feel like that a lot of the I'm gonna say the new people that are posting in the Facebook, that is their realm. That's where they're at,
Mhm.
right?
Well, yeah, and we were talking about that too. I mean, there's people obviously who's not going to just give to about coin. I mean, think about it. When I was in my 20s, it was just change. I was collecting when I was a kid, and then got back into it like around 95ish or something like that. But when I was in my 20s, pennies on the ground, whatever, just keep walking. Now I pick up every single one of them suckers,
Right.
because priorities. Yeah.
Biggest priorities, and that's and there's lots of different ways to communicate information, right? Some people learn visually. Some people learn by reading. Some people learn by doing.
True.
So, and there's a lot of different ways to communicate to people, and
You're right.
I mean, there is, like, obviously, if you and I have a conversation just like this, like, you know that, hey, if you ask me a question, I'm gonna tell you what's up.
Mhm.
Like, I'm just gonna lay it out because I already understand that you have a basic knowledge, and you are not looking for a long drawn out explanation. You are looking for, give me the answer, give me a couple bullet points to support the answer that I've given, and that's what I want from you.
Is this the goods, man?
You got the goods, you got the stuff, man. And that's I mean, and it's hard to give one type of answer
True.
to a Facebook post, right?
There's a
Because
blanket.
yeah, and there's no way to blanket it. And I trust me, I wish there was. Like, maybe it's like, hey, I am 99% sure that it's this, but you can check this article, you can check this video. Like, it, like, maybe that could do it, but it really just depends on the person. So,
like, wow, that's really cool. Here, check out this link. I think you might have something.
Thanks for coming in, Captain Jigga. Appreciate it.
Take care, Cat.
And
right, Paula.
well, yes,
but
like, especially when you have a, say, a newer collector, then you can't come out and say, hey, that looks like a, like, this is what it is. Because the first thing that they're gonna do, especially a newer collector, is that they're gonna get butthurt because and it goes back to the culture thing.
Yep.
Because they're like, well, no, I can't be wrong because I'm never wrong.
Everybody gets a trophy. I have
right. Everybody gets a trophy, and all I got was a stupid coin.
This is coming back to haunt us, people. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying. And I still wonder, I mean, like, going back to the collecting thing, I mean, it's not even just coins. It's like you said, there will always be a market for it. Somebody's always going to collect something. But it seems like there's fewer and fewer of them. And a lot of the old timers, they don't, do internet. I mean, my father, God rest his soul, when he was alive, he was all thumbs when it came to stuff like this. And I've got friends my age that still don't get on the internet. I'm just a nerd, so I totally got into the internet. And I'm trying to get my grandson into it, but he's he kind of digs coins, but he'd rather show me what this dude can do. He's still at that age,
Yeah.
And it's gonna be an uphill road, but I think that, like you said, it's always going to be around. It's just to what extent was my concern. And again, I'm just an American too.
That you can learn more in one Q&A than surfing the net for an hour. I would generally agree with that, cousin. The difference would be is it depends on what you get into. And the reason I say that is because I have found some really interesting links. Like when I first found the Ahrefs website. Yeah, dude. I killed probably 3 hours reading everything that I can in there. Obviously, I'm not going to learn it all. In one sitting, but it really helped me
just plug in.
When I came across something later. I'm like, hey, I've seen this before.
Yes.
So, but I really like the Q&A because it generally, and I say generally brings in a mix of examples, right? Somebody is gonna bring in a true double die. Somebody is gonna bring in a machine doubled. Somebody's gonna bring in a die chip. Somebody's gonna bring in die cracks. Like it has a good mix of examples to show the kinds of things that people will find.
True. That's true too, Paula. It's not just during the show. I mean,
yeah.
But then if they don't believe you anyways, I mean, it's trying to get blood from a stone.
Right?
It's just not happening.
So, and this kind of all rolls back into like, I personally feel, and this is going to be solely my opinion and mine alone. That
disclaimer: this is CJ's opinion and his alone.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for that. That's a good radio voice, by the way.
Ah, thanks.
Good narration. I would like to see more videos from the community.
I'm starting to get to a point where I'm starting to feel like doing it again, to tell you the truth. I stepped away for a while because reasons, which shall be unknowns, but yeah.
And obviously, like, I've had my my situation. So I've been offline, and I get, and that's where I'm like, I understand if people don't want to do videos based off of choice and circumstance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was definitely the latter.
And but still, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I am concerned that there are little to no videos coming out that really do that really do the educational. And I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way. I just don't see it. So obviously if I'm missing it, I apologize, but I'm not seeing it. I see a ton of coin roll hunting shows, right? Again, nothing wrong with that, is because that's their own thing. I see
a little bit too.
I see a bunch of auctions, right? A bunch of sales. Again, I don't have anything wrong with that. I've done it and it worked out for a while. I don't know if I will continue it because I just I don't.
I may pick it up if so.
I don't have a lot of coin coming in that I could sell, so I don't feel like that I would be a very good one to to do that, to be a part of that. But the one thing that I of why that I started the multi-channel is to give a chance for those other smaller channels like mine to have a central, a central place.
And it was a great idea.
And it worked. It worked for a while.
In fact, what time is it? I don't know who the heck is coming on later tonight. I don't think anybody really. Nah, it's way too late. I'm not going to do anything tonight.
I personally would like to see more.
Who's this?
Not necessarily Q&A style live streams, but maybe more coin related live streams that were actually about coins. That was actually, the more information about coins. And it doesn't have to be like a marathon, like 4 hours or whatever it is. Now, if you have enough information and you wanted to do something like that, and and it works, then but again, that goes back to, you find what works with you, right?
Yes.
Whether it's live streams, whether it's videos, you find what works with you. You look at your analytics, and you just do what works for you. Like that's it.
Oops.
So I would love to see more, and I think I love watching CFA because he talks about the different things that you can find on coins.
Yes.
Mantic had a really great show. Obviously it was a big thing and everybody loved it. That he talked about. So I am looking through half dollars, and this is what I'm looking for. This is why I'm looking for that. And that was one thing that was very consistent. Now I would love to see more of that kind of thing.
True.
Just because, I mean, if you can engage your audience with something like that, then it will work. It will work really well.
That thing. I had something that I had come up with to help get coins into a flip without touching them, and it's the craziest thing, and it works. And where did I put it?
What's up, Oz? How you doing, man?
Hey, Oz.
And it's those kind of things that, like, I kind of sit here, I kind of sit here and I think sometimes, not what Mike is saying. He says, I'm not a teacher because I think everybody should be on the same level of education that I have, and that's not the case. And that's where that if you, but you are already at the first step, Mike, right? So you're saying that you're not a teacher because you think everybody should be operate at your level. So you can make videos for people that operate at your level.
Exactly.
But you can also step up to, and do videos for people that are just starting, because you already know that information, which already puts you ahead of the curve. If you go back and you think through, okay, when I first started coin roll hunting, or coin collecting, this is what I came into. These are the things that I came across. Like I had this
double die, another double die. Look,
everything was a double die. And I had this the same conversation with Oz, and I hope Oz doesn't get offended if I talk about him in this matter. But I told him, I'm like, man, you should be doing tutorials for your wood burning, right? Like you don't have to show like all your secrets, like you don't have to show that, but You can do short videos about, hey, so I've got this pattern. Here are some things that I recognize about this pattern. Here are some things that I need to pay attention to. You know, maybe show a few close-up clips about, hey, I'm gonna do this corner, and this is how I have to do it because I need to make it look like this. And I'm
I
like,
would enjoy that. To tell you, I used to have a woodwork kit when I was a kid.
Right, and that's what I told him. I'm like, and he's like, well, but I'm not really good. Like I'm not a professional. I'm like, but you are at the perfect time. You are that one step ahead of somebody who's just starting, right? And when you are just starting and you are looking at tutorials on online, like you are looking for somebody who has better skills than you, right?
Yes.
So I really think that people that are proficient in coins, you know, to go back and think about, okay, when I started doing coins, this is what I came into. And you can do videos about, hey, when I started, this is what I came up with.
Way back in 31 when I started collecting.
Right. Because like people will look for that, and there will be a certain number of people that that will learn from that. And if you go through an entire live stream, if you go through an entire video and one person learned something, you have contributed to the hobby.
That is an awesome thing. I agree.
If one single person learns anything from a video or a live stream, you have contributed to the hobby. Now, take that, times it by 10 people. We have 10 people contributing to the hobby, right?
Mm-hmm. And they'll tell two friends, and they'll tell two friends.
So it's like this big, E equals MC squared kind of formula that has to do with, getting people involved, reaching out to new people, cross platforms, live streams, good information, short videos, long videos. Like there's all of this stuff, right? But
you could probably make a formula for that.
I probably could, actually. I don't know if it would be accurate, but
assign variables and all that.
But one thing that people will always trust is somebody who does it that is real about it.
Mm-hmm.
It is something innate in humanity that if you see somebody who is a person, a real person, that has their flaws or opportunities or whatever you want to call it, right? Quirks is a good one. Character traits that they are relatable. And when somebody is relatable, well, then that's where you get the engagement from.
Yes.
Because that's a problem on YouTube, is the people that post crap about coins that is not correct. How do you stop that?
You can't.
You can't, and you never will. And that's the same thing on Facebook, is that you can post anything on the internet and it will always be there.
You want to be able to post anything, but you kind of like some things to be a little bit more closer to reality.
But the thing is that like that is so outside of your control, that you shouldn't even be worried about it. Because that goes back to if you put out one video, if you do one live stream, and somebody learns something from that, you've already gone beyond all the other stuff.
You have done well.
You have done well, young Padawan.
I'm getting this look from Kenzie right now. Dude, what in the heck is wrong with you?
magic and science.
What did I do? I fed. Good
I fed you
Lord.
3 times.
Was it not your favorite flavor? So sorry.
What do you want from me?
Anyways. We'll go back because of the attitude. I totally get you, Clinton.
And I agree with that, and that's why that goes back to the thing is that, you know, that the short videos, the live streams, like you have to engage your audience, and that's just a key of connecting with people.
Hook them in 30 seconds and keep them no longer than 3 minutes.
So, like, what I try to do, and if I haven't done this in the past, then feel free to call me out. But what I try to do is that if I talk about the value of something, I try to put the reasons why, or the reason why, because then you have, here's what it is, this is how much worth, and this is why. Because then that's how somebody learns, because it's like you have A plus B and then equals D. Well, then what came after B? Like, where's the rest of the equation? And that's why that I say on those quote unquote clickbait videos, like, I get that they're like, hey, this coin is worth, you know, the picture of the coin and the $, you know, the $14 signs, whatever, right? The only, like, the number one thing that they could do is put the reason why. They have said, this is what the coin is and this is how much worth. But then, again,
it's rare, and chances are you're not going to find it today.
But yes, and that's, but the reason why they don't put that part is because it's that hope, right? And that hope is one of those things that is a key component in marketing, is the want or the hope, right?
Yep. Oh, I remember that too. Yes.
It's okay to leave the hope in it and have all of the information. It can be done.
But temper that with realistic expectations too. That seems to be just, I don't think it would really drop these people's ratings at all. Really, when you think about it, I mean, they've already got the base, and they're probably going to say, wow, he's actually like being, you know, he's digging into this stuff a little bit more.
Mike, to answer your question, how do you change the mind of a newbie? You change the mind with a newbie when you have accurate information and you have documented, whether that be more specifically an article, a reference, or something to reinforce, to back up what you're presenting.
And Clinton hit the nail on the head there. It's anything is worth what another person's going to pay for it. Whether it's coins, whether it's bottle caps, whether it's rubber
says bands. If you look, CJ, you'll see started how-to section. Awesome. That's awesome, Oz. And like the number one thing is, like, the pricing on the value of coins. Everybody, but this, I think, Mike, you're like, you kind of missing some of the stuff that we talked about earlier, is that that goes back to the culture, the now culture, because every coin on there is always worth X amount of. Well, that could be said with with anything, right? But you have examples. The fact that coins are on Etsy And I have looked to try to confirm this, but as far as I understand, Etsy is only supposed to be handmade or self-made items. Selling coins by themselves is actually against the guidelines because they are not self-made; they are made by the government.
Exactly, Oz. There you go. There's different types of value.
Right, and Ken had a good breakdown on what is value.
Bless you. Yes, he did.
And that goes into the information of, well, what are some of those points?
Rarity,
rarity, condition,
surviving population, condition, intrinsic value.
Etsy, if it is older than 20 years old, you can sell it there.
Well, again, I don't Etsy, so I think the only time I went to Etsy was to buy SJ's T-shirt.
But that goes into the part about information, where you can go in and you can say, okay, so here is a video on how to accurately price coins.
Mm-hmm.
Here is a video on, if you want to do an expose on Etsy, do an expose on Etsy. And you could say, do you understand that the people that are posting these coins on Etsy, one, probably don't know that much about coins, or they are putting a price tag on it that is so ludicrous based off of these items, and you list them: condition, rarity, commonality, errors, the fact that it's either an error or it's not an error. Like, you can do that in an open environment that doesn't necessarily have to call somebody out.
Although I did once consider doing like a series of videos on here, naming some bad eBay sellers, but that would probably cause all kinds of problems. Like a certain stock.
But it goes back to, okay, so we're back to things that we can, as a community, we can do live streams, we can have open dialogue, we can have communications, we can have videos that talk about these topics, right? And that's the communication. Now, there's no way to to go out, reach out, and block sellers from selling stuff, because that's just outside of our control, right? But you can provide people with information so that they can make educated decisions. Exactly. When you see that 1982 large date Denver that weighs 3.1 grams and they're asking $10,000 for it, your video that says, hey, heads up, watch out for this, because this is a common coin.
That's not a terrible idea.
When you see this is not a common coin. When you see this is not a common coin, and this is why it's valuable.
Dragon's eBay posts that make me flaming mad.
We have the options to do this, right?
I have to mute my mic here. The sirens are going.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm like 9 stories up, and the fire department and police department are like right outside my window.
Oh, that's cool. What about people that are I'll say well skilled in graphics? What about making infographics? People love infographics, right? Because they provide visual information that is immediate, right?
True.
There you go.
like PowerPoint or something like that.
PowerPoint or just a graphic, and then it's where we post that infographic. Well, we post it everywhere.
Good at graphics, and then now Paint Shop Pro 9 doesn't work with Windows 10.
You know, and that's something that can be posted on a community tab on a channel that it, you know, has over 1,000 subscribers. That can be posted on a Facebook group. That can be tweeted. That can be, well, I don't know if it can be tweeted. Anyway, that could be on Instagram. You know, that thing can get loaded into you know, even into Pinterest. Like there is all of these things that we have the ability to do. We just got to do it.
Is oh God, what the heck? I can't even think of the name of the dang website now. I haven't been there in so long. That one that was kind of trying to take off like Facebook that some of us went to. MeWe, thank you. That's the one. I don't think anything really has come of that. Do I even remember my password? Probably not.
I was on there for a little bit, but there were again. I feel like something like that is trying to reinvent the wheel, right? Because you have, I mean, Facebook did it because they provided something different from MySpace. Yes, I did say MySpace. MeWe would have to bring something different to the table to even compete with Facebook. And the fact that so many people have been in touch with Facebook that it may be a hard sell. Like I'm not saying it's dead, but I think that the amount of people that you would reach are going to be greatly limited.
I remember being one of those MySpace people that were like, "Yeah, Facebook sucks, man." You know, we're trying to stay on.
But still, the thing is that if you have a Facebook, use Facebook. If you have a MeWe, use MeWe. If you still have a MySpace, if it still exists, use freaking MySpace. Because the people that are on there, that's where they consume content. And you have to go out and reach out to them. They won't just magically find you. That's not how this thing works.
Nope.
So
it does take a little effort. I've been kind of short on effort lately.
It's going to take a lot of effort, or a little effort from a lot of people.
Everybody. It's a good point. Sorry, I'm trying to fix the stupid.
So yeah, I mean, Mike, I mean that's exactly. It's so easy to use Facebook. MeWe, in order to be a true contender to Facebook, is gonna have to bring something else to the game that is different, because everything on MeWe you can do on Facebook. Everything. They have to
like real time face chat or something.
They have to do something different to make communication easier. They have to.
Yeah, that's true, Mike. The comfortable shoe. All my AOL discs met a sparky fate at the hands of my Tesla coil.
Right, but again, like I keep on going back to this. You can't go out and change people to come find you. You have to reach out to them. You have to reach out to your potential, I'm going to say customers, your potential audience in whatever medium that they are using. That's just the truth. And to think that you will continue to use whatever medium that you have been using and expect to have infinite growth is not the answer.
For a Super Bowl commercial.
What's that?
Let's all throw in for a Super Bowl commercial.
Right? It's a 1 second ad that says coins.
Yes. $1 million. Thank you very much.
Right.
Oh, wait, what? But yeah, I hear you.
So and you know, and I'm sure that there are a lot of people that um can be stuck in their ways, that they only continue using the same medium that they have always used because it's easy for them, and
Right.
that exactly
Can I spit?
is you know is the thing that is like, we have to go outside of the box. We are all in the same box that has been easy.
Quite true.
And I am the first one to admit that.
And I have been
YouTube
wrong more
is
times than
easy for me. Facebook is easy for me. That's why I complain about it all the time, because it's easy.
but and yet they still managed to. No, never mind.
You still manage to screw it up. No. But it's, I mean, there is going to be something that can get people excited, that can get people, you know, like I'm thinking of an option that, you know, maybe it is you know, a Pinterest post about like the project that I did, where I put a timeline, and for each year for that timeline um that was representing, I put a penny in there.
Mm-hmm.
Something really basic. But what if I took that, right? And then, like, in like the article or the blog post or whatever, that I said, hey, you know, while working on this project, you know, this is how I accomplished it. I went
Mm-hmm.
to the bank, I got a box of coins, and I searched through it, and I found the years that I needed to accomplish this. Well, in that process, right?
I found this really neat looking 1984, and sorry,
That had this mutant ear, right?
it looked like cauliflower ear, and I looked a little closer, and
It's like, bro, what's this? But and it could literally be something as simple as that, because that is reaching out to the people on the platform or the medium that they are consuming content, and then directing them somewhere.
sorry, Jeff.
Yeah, he should be sorry.
Jeff number 2, Jeff number 3 here.
Um,
I used to love it when my mother would run through all our names, like trying to get somebody's attention. Trying to get to me, she'd be like, Lord, Scott, Frank.
so yeah, I mean, there's so many. Well, so kind of what people are talking about is that there are different ways to communicate to people. There's no black and white to do it. Some people can just give just a straight black and white answer. Some people don't like that. So it's
Make a kid's video game involving coins.
I think
Like
that would be
be
awesome. And I really had thought about that before, but the part that I couldn't kind of extrapolate out of my head is like what you had to do to get like to get the knowledge piece in there.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, like a coin roll hunting. It would unwrap a penny, and you would go through them and look for this, look for that, and then you missed something. You just lost out on blah 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 because blah blah blah. You know, something like that. The Mint has games for younger kid on their site. Really?
Yeah, but what about older kids?
Barney, yeah.
What about older kids?
I know not of what you speak of.
Like, you know, like 40. I'm asking for a friend.
Because I are one.
Because I are one, dang it. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's one of the tools to reach out to people that normally wouldn't, right?
Exactly. Maybe I need to just be my off the wall self again.
It would. Hey, Clinton, have a good night, buddy. Get some sleep for sure.
Take care.
Hold on. It would help to sway people if there were better known names that would use and advertise. If there were other websites such as MeWe. But that's going outside your control, Mike. You have to, as a platform user, you have to reach out beyond your own platform to reach more people. Now, if you can reach more people outside of your platform with things so that they come to you in whatever your best contact or whatever is, then that works great too. But there's no way that you are going to force people or try to sway them to switch platforms. Like that's not what your goal is.
You would need
your goal is to get them to come to you. But I would love a game like blackjack only with coins, or I mean just something really really off the wall. Like, you got a 1982 and like the second coin that you pull up and it's a 1985 or something. It's like you found two common coins. I'm like, I don't know, something like that. C-pins. So Bill brings up a good point. Those people that don't have social media, those coin clubs, and that's exactly what I'm talking about is, and that's what Frank mentioned earlier, that that there are people that just haven't reached the internet age in terms of technology, and that's okay. They can still learn. What if you took a video that you put together and put on a tablet, right? And you went to a coin group and you said, "Hey guys, for the next 10 minutes, we're gonna watch this video because this is a new variety that was just discovered." How right there you have 5 people that just learned something new, and you're leveraging your expertise with the knowledge for those people that don't have it.
That's interesting because I just happened to find out that there is a coin club in my county that's relatively larger. We don't get many big shows around here. The closest I want to say I've ever seen like a big name show come to me would be like either Albany or Syracuse. Nobody comes to Buffalo. Nobody comes to Niagara Falls. Rochester's just out too.
Because I think a lot of those people that are kind of outside the internet age, like their information is going to be great. Number one, just with the experience, but just imagine like what they're missing. Because like when we look at these reference guides, the authoritative reference guides, the Snow books, the Brain books, like how old are these books that everybody knows?
By heart, yeah.
60 years old, 50 years old.
I'll bet you're right.
So because what happened in the last 40 years with coins?
Mm-hmm.
I bet you they probably don't know about the Sacagawea mule that happened in 2000, or the missing edge lettering on the presidentials in 2007.
of the 2018 D Double Deer,
Okay.
which is relatively new.
If you're gonna throw that one, I mean, it's okay. I'll go with it.
That's why.
But just imagine like how much more.
And these guys that just look for, just wheats or something through, going through rolls that have no knowledge of RPMs, double dies, etc.
Right.
That's a good idea. And you would get knowledge from them, probably a lot more historical knowledge, which would be awesome.
Right. Like, hey, by the way, in 1922, that there was two reverse dies that were used, and that they're all a weak strike on the obverse because reasons. Or, I mean, just like whatever, like
Exactly.
where like maybe that information can be used with on a video saying, hey, when you come across these coins, the reason why they always have weak strikes is because none of that information is listed in the red book, in the brain book, any of that. That is just stuff that they learned things over.
I don't have one.
What's that?
Does Cherry Pickers have stuff like that?
Sometimes. But okay. when if you start getting into things like we'll say Jefferson 1950D, right? So the vast majority of those are going to be in high grades. The reason is everybody knew that was going to be a key date, so that they were just hoarded.
Yep.
So they're very easy to find in high grades. Well, information like that all these old guys know. Sorry. Not old guys. Hold on. Let me take a step back. Not old guys. These experienced guys and gals.
Professionals.
People. that they have the experience and can kind of fill in the gaps. Because a lot of the information and the experience that us younger people we know just because of the stuff that we come across while looking at coins. Exactly. Like I've noticed, like 1970s, especially 73, 74, 75, you have just an absolute crazy amount of die clashes. Like just stupid amount of die clashes. The fact that in the late 60s, all of the devices are super thick, right? Until you get to the 70s, and then they're nice and crisp again.
Stupid 82.
And that's just what I've noticed. I couldn't tell you why. I couldn't tell you if there was a process that changed that created more die clashes. I couldn't tell you. Like I don't know that, but I bet you
should research. Yeah,
some of these things, these people know, so they can help us kind of fill in the gaps of the stuff that we know. So take the experienced information and then you put it together with what you know. You put out a video. Oh, I read it, Paul. Hold on. Put it in a video and then put that on YouTube. Put that information in an infographic. Put that information online so the rest of us coin nerds and us coin enthusiasts can see that information. So Paula says, why don't you do a variety or error of the week stream, CJ? You could do a quiz each week with the previous from the previous week and give a prize for the first to get all the right answers.
Could do that too.
And that's an excellent idea, because that puts together a like maybe a short video and then a live stream and then audience engagement and then a prize. So
I like that.
CFA kind of has one that's like that.
True. The VAMs?
But no, before VAMs, it was Mystery Coin.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
But to the same thing is that's one thing that they do, and it gets a lot of engagement. So we know that it works, and it's entertaining, and it's informative. That's the word I was looking for.
Get rid of a wood scent? Surely you jest, Bill.
Oh, well, that's rough, Bill. I don't know if I would go there. That's like asking him to give up a leg or something. I mean,
see my avatar? That's like one of my peppers, and yeah, that's going nowhere.
You know, and what about that? So that same thing that Paul was talking about. What about anything else? Because how many errors of varieties are there? Thousands, right?
Couple, 4 or 5. So
just in the 40s. Okay, Paula.
Okay, Paula.
But what if everybody in the community did something like that? They don't have to do live streams. They could do short videos.
Produced video.
Like their own mystery coin, mystery error coin. What about something like that?
Ideas. And I bought all this. I bought Cyberlink when I got my money. Like the crap. What's it called?
The thing.
Photo Director. And well, no, not just Photo Director, but Power Director came with it. And it's got all kinds of power as far as producing videos. And I'm just kind of sitting here with it.
I mean, you could really do something in as basic as something like OBS or even Face StreamYard. You could do record now.
That's true.
So you could just do record off a streamer. I mean, there are tons of options. And again, this is not going to be something that is for everybody, and that's fine. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
And you always collect what you want too, not what everybody else is, or not what everybody else says is cool or will be valuable next week or something.
And that's exactly like, okay, so do that, and then like do videos on the stuff that you like, because I guarantee there is somebody that collects the same stuff you do. It is in the numbers that it has to happen.
Yes, that's statistics and yep, definitely.
Jeff, that is a great idea, right there.
Scavenger hunt with clues.
Coin seminar weekend, but like a scavenger hunt, and clues to the next channel.
Everybody loves a scavenger hunt.
So you could do you could do 5 channels in a week. Every Monday, somebody posts one part of the mystery variety coin.
I am like write this down, man.
Yes, somebody write this down, just because reasons. Put my name on it.
Easy.
And then every Tuesday, somebody does, the second part, and then Friday is a live stream, or maybe Thursday is a live stream, Saturday is a live stream, whatever it is, right? Is a live stream, and it's and you put all that stuff together, and people guess it.
Hey, Indiana.
What's up, Indiana? What's up, Cajun? Exactly, Jeff. Not just for the weekend. Maybe it's just Monday and Tuesday. Maybe it's just Monday and Wednesday. Like whatever it is, because then you get to the point where every Monday people are looking for your content, right? Every Tuesday people are looking for your content. Now, if that's something that you can't do, that's fine. That something like maybe you have like one or two people that have a particular day, and somebody does 1 week and somebody else does the next week, so it's every 2 weeks. It's something I talked with Blues about, and I am the first person that would admit that I did not do this. But Blues and I talked about, like, with the time that we have, set aside, just like BSing and trolling,
train wrecking eBay and all its glory, we could be putting together short videos and just stacking them up. Because what you can do is that you can save all these videos, have them uploaded to YouTube, and then set them to release or go live sometime in the future.
Right.
So you could do, we'll say 4 videos, right? And on a, we'll just say Sunday because today's Sunday. Reasons. So today you record, edit, and upload 4 videos. Could be 1, could be 2. I'm just saying 4 just for the sake of being right. Mm-hmm. And you have an upload schedule of Tuesday and Thursday, right? So right there, you have 2 weeks ahead of schedule that are already ready to go. And as soon as it becomes that day, it goes live.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime during the rest of the week, you record 1 video or 2 videos. So you could potentially, and say something came up, right? Something came up, computer crashed, your cat ate your internet cord. Yeah, you're welcome, Dragon. Something like that happened. So like, man, you can't put anything together for weeks, right?
Yes.
It's cool. It's still set up to run.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Coin World UK, welcome. Don't remember seeing your name here before.
Hey, Coin World UK, how's it going, man? So something like that, and it doesn't have to be an hour video. It doesn't have to be a half an hour video. It could be I basically calculated between 5 and 8 minutes would be the ideal time for a solid informational video, right? Because it, like, at 5 minutes it starts to kind of peter off. But say, what's up, JC Will? I haven't seen you in a long time, buddy.
JC, hey, really? JC, CJ?
A solid time is maybe 3 to 5 minutes. 3 minutes might be a little bit on the low end, but somewhere around 5 maybe. How long would it take someone that maybe that isn't really good with computers to record a 5-minute video and set it up?
Right.
So the problem with 15 to 20-minute videos is that after 10 minutes, unless it's really engaging, do people drop?
Mm-hmm.
So 15 minutes is too long, unless you're going through a series of things. But if you're just doing like one topic and you're just kind of hammering it out, like it has to be short. It has to be shorter.
You better have something waiting for them at the end.
So how long would it take somebody to record and edit like a 3 to 5 minute video?
Mm-hmm.
Half an hour?
Depending upon skill, I would say it's probably
an hour.
Reasonable.
So
I would say an hour. I would say an hour. Yeah.
I mean, just for the sake of talking. So
because then you get going and you want to put this thing and you tweet that thing and yeah.
Right, and that's fair. So you take 2 hours on, not even that, just one. You're just gonna do one video, and your upload day is Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you do. On Sunday, you record and you edit. So you spend an hour, doing that, and you set it up, and it will come live on Wednesday. So between the rest of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and the next Sunday, which is 8 days,
mm-hmm.
somewhere in there, you will probably have another hour that you could do another video.
Agreed. I mean, yep. I'm sitting here listening and agreeing. Yes.
And that's just
the chat here too.
And that's just and that's just, I mean, if you want to go really basic. So just like Jeff says, I always write notes. And I have everything like that I want to talk about. I may throw in little things like here and there, just kind of like maybe it rings something in my head as I'm talking about it, and I'll throw that in there. But I will always write out the topics that I want to talk about, because otherwise I do stupid things like ramble for 2 hours and 5 minutes.
I have no idea what that's like.
Yeah, no, zero. But how, like,
I'm not a computer geek. I'll listen to it.
And so, like, just the way that we talk about it, it seems so easy to do something like this. But what else is out there? And really, what's stopping? What are the shortcomings? What are the roadblocks that is stopping us from doing it?
Real life, man. It's a drag.
And believe me, Frank, I 100% agree, right?
It's a drag, man.
But chances are,
when it comes to doing fun stuff like this, anyways,
chances are that the real life piece, it's real. I get it, 100%. I'm not discounting it, so don't take it like that. But that's not what's stopping everyone else.
Good point. It can't all happen at the same time, in other words.
Right, and I get that. And it would be a process to get things started.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
I kind of dig in on that scavenger hunt thing.
I mean, and like, I really wouldn't mind, now that I'm like back to like real life and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind, like, I would love to do a podcast. So exactly what we're talking about right now, but a podcast, just because, again, it's one of those things that we have to go outside the platform that we are using. Mm-hmm. And I've thought about a podcast for a while. I just don't know kind of how to put it together.
Like on Ustream, it's kind of, they have their own onboard server side stuff for streaming. Because I used to do it. God, I did a couple stupid things back in like 2013 or something like that. It's gotten a little bit tighter as far as like who can get on there and stream, so there's not so many idiots, would be my guess. That's the only one I'm familiar with, but there's other ones that are just different flavors, basically. Then there's the more professional ones. Geez, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but yeah, you can kind of go as far as you want to with that stuff too. And I have always liked doing podcasts. I've done a few in the past. It's fun.
Yeah, because I mean, CoinWorld has done podcasts.
Yes, they have.
But the thing is that what about reaching out past that? Because again, that's only one facet. The stuff that I'm talking about is, it has to be, in order to reach the most amount of people that is possible, it has to be a lot of things.
Oh, CoinWorld UK brought up a great point. Not being bothered by monetizing, just doing it because it's fun. That's awesome. I'm all for that myself too. Yeah. And a lot of us are just like, have gotten together, and because we do like doing the stuff, I mean, you know, certainly some people are more, you know, they want to be monetized, and that's cool too. But what was the point I was going to make? I can't forget. I can't remember.
Doing it for the sake of the hobby
Yes.
not because of reasons.
Mm-hmm. Not because of get-rich-quick schemes.
Right. But in the same sense, it's like the putting all of these things together that for you don't have to worry about that coin rolled. He Frank is squirrel all day long.
Squirt.
Squirrel, what? All this stuff that we're talking about is that I hope somebody does something or has an idea from this, and I would love to just sit down and have conversations like this, that are open conversations, and that we can just talk about things, because it's kind of it helps bring new ideas, you know, and I could be rambling on about something because, ramble. And, I would fully expect you to say, CJ, that is the stupidest idea that I have ever heard. And I'd be like, okay, what do you think is stupid about it? Right? I mean, let's have an open, honest conversation, because maybe I think that's a great idea. And I think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But to you, that's the stupidest thing that you've ever seen. That's fine. We can disagree, and that is exactly fine. And that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Point counterpoint. That's what they used to call it.
So, is there anything that we can do to possibly compromise? I mean, that's one option. Is there maybe different ways to accomplish the same idea? What's up, Brian Hooper?
Hey, Hooper, how you doing?
Hooper. Because like we all know that everybody learns differently, right? And sometimes, a lot of the time, all the time, information has to be presented in multiple different ways for people to learn it, right? So if you were going to present information on a topic, say you're just doing a presentation, obviously you want something audible. There's the word I'm looking for, audible. And then to couple to back up, I was thinking audule, AUDIAL. Yeah, I don't know, one of those words.
Wow, that's weird. It like totally led me that way too. It's weird.
I know. It's just like yeah, because I was thinking visual but audio at the same time. So I'm like, what's that? Something audible, and to back that up, you have something that's visual. Yes. Say a PowerPoint presentation, pictures, video, that kind of thing, and then to couple that, you have some kind of plain text.
Yeah, like
right?
pages out of a book or something.
Right. So the ideal thing to have for a single topic, say loaded 1982, right there, right? So we as people of the coin,
why do you always gravitate towards it?
Because it's fine. 1857. There you go.
Oh, wait a minute, I have a 53. I'm under my scope right now.
I got a 57 in front of me that Beth bought. So we are going to do an article on 1857. Specifically, we are going to do doing something informational on an 1857 Flying Eagle. Okay, so one, obviously we would have to decide. Okay, what are we going to talk about in this piece? Right. So we are going to talk about a Snow 7 or a Snow 14. We'll say a Snow 14. Heck, nice. we don't even have to talk about varieties or errors. We are just going to talk about the 1857 Flying Eagle. What is the 1857 Flying Eagle? Okay, so now we have our topic. Now this is where we start putting layers and connections on it, right? So we do a video about it, something visual. We do a video that talks about the 1857 Flying Eagle. What is it? Where did it come from? How it was made? The fact that it's a coin. Just like all the stuff about it. So we have pictures on the video. We talk about it. You know, we have snippets of text on the screen. So there's one piece of that. Okay. To follow that up, we write an article, blog post, article, whatever you want to call it, and we post that on whatever site. With that, that has a link to the video that we just have, right? So now we're starting to do cross-platform. Then we put an Instagram post that has a picture of the 1857 Flying Eagle saying, "Hey, 1857. Did I say 1957? Yeah,
you might have. I even missed it.
Yeah, 1957 Flying Eagle. You didn't know that was a thing? Get with the program, Frank. 1857. So we put up a picture of the 1857 Flying Eagle, and we have a little bit of information on this Instagram post, and saying, "Hey, check out my profile. I just uploaded a new video over on my channel. Check it out." Right?
It was the aftermath of a very turbulent time in our nation's history. It'd be like Richard Attenborough.
Man, there was a lot of crazy stuff going on at the Mint. I'm just saying. So then we put out a Twitter message saying, "Hey, check this link. I just uploaded a new video about this coin. It's super rare. It's rare. You know, I just found this. I just bought this. You know, something like that, right?"
Never.
And then to kind of put that out there. So Facebook, same thing, is we put a post, link to the video, link to the article, whatever it is. And then say we do, you know, on any of these, on any of these or all of these, basically all of these, we can say, "Hey," and to follow this up, we will have a podcast that is going live this Thursday at 5 p.m. And we will, myself and Frank the Dragon and Billy Biscuits are going to be talking about the 1857 1857 Flying Eagle set, on why that this is a key point in coins, and how it affects coins forever after that. You know, kind of a broad kind of a broad thing. How many people would that cross-platform piece reach?
That is a good question.
Because if I just do a video and I just put it on my channel, only the people that are subscribed to me, unless it gets magically picked up by the YouTube algorithm.
True.
Only.
So how do I do them? It's actually, I do them all myself. They're like impressions. No, actually, there are programs that you can get where you can get like boinks and, you know, funky sounds. I think I got rid of it though.
That you know, and that's something that after the podcast is done, obviously it sets there for somebody to go back and listen to it whenever. So we have all of these points that all are presenting the same information. There's audio, visual, text, right? Then there's a combination of all those, and then there's just single things, right? So there's like just sorry, excuse me, just the video just the visual, which is the text. Then you have just the audible stuff. But you are reaching out to tens of thousands of more people having a cross-platform positioning than you possibly would be by just putting a video on a YouTube channel. You know, and you could do and you could do a hashtag across all of those and have it be coin talk, or I don't, something stupid like that, because that's easy to remember. Something like that, because then if somebody saw on most social media, the like the hashtag will be bolded because it already hyperlinks it into a keyword search. So somebody could click on the hashtag and find all of the things that hashtag has been touched on.
Yes.
Right? Or tagged on. That's the word I'm looking for. Tagged.
Yes.
It started with the T. I was close.
If it's cross-platform, that's even better too.
But the thing is that like it must be cross-platform, because there is not a single platform that you can just use the single platform and expect to reach more people. You can reach more people eventually, possibly, but again, you are betting on things that you can't control.
And if
YouTube
you can do it
algorithms,
it's such
timing, information, thumbnails, graphics, like there are so many other things that you can't control. That's why it must be something like that. So maybe because that is a process in itself, right? And I get that. But maybe that all of the other stuff is done once a week, and then it concludes with the podcast. Or maybe it starts with the podcast and then continues to something else. Like there's a like in my head, I feel like that it would end with the podcast, but I don't know. What do I know? I know.
This is amazingly cool brainstorming.
I am a knower of nothing. That's who I am. I'm just some guy that's rambling on about crap that he knows nothing about. So magic. And
I probably fit in there somewhere too. Yeah. I'm pretty much nobody too.
So it's those kind of things that I sit back and I think about, because I have the idea that I want to grow in the coin universe. And I say universe because I mean it's just one of the things that like I feel like that I have a decent amount of knowledge that I can to help other people learn things. Because learning things is what interests me. Everything that I touch, I want to learn about it. I want to know how it works. I want to know where it comes from. That's where I want to go with it. So and one of the best ways to learn something is to teach it.
But I'm trying to get to my mouse and she's laying on it and not allowing me to. She's like, no, give me a mouse. Yeah, he's been missed.
So there's a lot of different options that could be done with a podcast. Like what CoinWorld is saying is that you could have guests, just like us doing guests on Coin Q&A. I mean, there's so many more things that.
But it would attract some big names too.
But here's the caveat to this whole idea, right?
Oh, good Lord, there's a caveat. Look out.
Are you ready for this one?
Hold on to your butt.
What if everybody did it?
And then, yeah.
What if everybody did that? And maybe it was once a week. Maybe it's once a month. Maybe it's, 2 times a month. Maybe it's, it's whatever they have time for, because you think about after all of this stuff is uploaded, once people came across it, they could always go back and review everything prior. All of the YouTube channels prior can be reviewed. All of the blog posts prior can be reviewed. All the podcasts can be listened to. All of the
archives,
all of that can be reviewed once it's come across. And the more that it's out there, the more that information could be passed. What if we started using everybody that I mean, this is clearly just examples and theoretical. That's what I'm thinking about. Everybody that is going to be doing this type of thing all uses the same hashtags. Like there's one hashtag that describes the coin universe. I'm something stupid. I don't know. I just show up.
Numismatic universe.
Yeah, numismatic universe. I like that one. That's good. Something like that where you clicked on that tag and it brought up this guy Coin Dragon, and he just talks about
this freaking guy in his
about wheat cents, and he just talked about wood grain. And he's got all this information on what causes wood grain. Why is this important? Why does this only happen between certain years? Why, what's
certain years than others? I've been looking into that too a little bit, and it's weird. I didn't even know that in 62 they changed the alloy again. I thought that wasn't until later on. But they did it in 62 too. And so, in essence, 62 is the last year you can have a quote-unquote traditional wood grain, is what I was starting to call it.
Okay.
You can have some wood grains. I've found some on 68s and 69s too, but they're like that really mottled, darkish, not even lines or streaks. They're just almost like blotches that line up, is what I see.
Yeah, but yeah, kind of like
different
streaks or something.
Right. And I think some of the old timers used to call them tiger striped or something like that. But yeah, I could do stuff like that, I guess.
And and the best part is that, again, say you only wanted to do short videos. You could do a 5-minute video about, hey, what is a wood grain coin? There's one, real simple. Then you start getting into it, and then you start talking about. Hey, why are these important? Why do these show up more in some years versus other ones?
Exactly. That's
what is it? Is it because that they were trying to force production so heavily that they're just like that? The process is that we roll this or we mix this 9 times, but we need to get X amount out the door yesterday. Exactly. We're only going to roll it twice and then go with it.
Exactly. And also too, back then there weren't people really looking for stuff. Well, there probably were, but few and far between. And it wasn't such a concern collecting, I think, until like later on. Like in '64 when they got rid of the mint marks. They were worried about everybody hoarding everything with the silver change and whatnot.
Right. And you can even extrapolate that something to something entirely unique, where you have a podcast. We'll say a podcast because whatever. On iAppeal. Why is iAppeal so important?
What is your definition of iAppeal versus mine? That's
right. And you can provide all of the figures and the facts that say, when you look at, say, Heritage is a great example on iAppeal. I mean, they had that 1892 Liberty dime or something that was just super rainbow, and it sold for something just freaking stupid ridiculous, right?
The one without the mint mark?
I don't remember.
You said 1982. I was like, oh, what? The one without the P?
1892. 1892. And you can.
It is nice.
And you can have a separation of ideas on, some people are like, well, I don't really like that coin because what I look for is I want blast white. I want this thing to be freaking crystal, right? And then other people saying that I like it tone because, there is specific a specific scenario that causes toning like this, and here's where it is. So right here you have one idea, you've got two separate versions of that idea, and the fact that you can still provide learning information about both sides of this same topic.
You can do both.
And it doesn't have to be an argument. It can be an open, a legitimate, open conversation.
And when it's entertaining, it's even better.
And if you wanted to spice it up,
that's
guess what?
Me comes in.
On Friday, we're gonna have a debate about iAppeal. Here we go. Just for people to tune in and just listen to.
We're gonna have a debate on iAppeal, and then we're gonna tell you why you're wrong.
So it doesn't. The best part is that none of it has to be the same.
Mm-hmm. No, and different. No, it's got to be different.
So, yeah, it's just
I to be a hook too.
Right. And the hook could be, here's a coin that is blast white that shows that this is original mint. Like, this came out of the mint, and the day that it came out, somebody set it aside, and it's been held in hiding by itself since 1893, right? And it sold, it graded MS 65 for whatever reason. Full bell lines, and no, I'm just kidding. It MS64, and it sold for $540,000 because it is the top pop in that piece, right?
Right.
Flip the coin over. This coin was taken out of circulation shortly after it was minted, and then it was put into a wrapper. That wrapper had some kind of sulfur chemical in the wrapper, and that toned this coin totally psychedelic. Whatever, right? And because it sat in this sulfur-based wrapper for the next 150 years, that's why this coin looks like that, and that was still graded. an MS-64 and sold for $540,000 because somebody wanted the toning on that coin. Not because it's the top pop, but because of the toning.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the same freaking coin.
Yep.
Like, doesn't that just blow your mind?
Yeah, it gets dizzying when you actually sink your mind deeply into it.
You know, and that situation right there can be applied to anything.
Quite true.
It could be applied to flying eagles. Or how about this one? And this is a great one, right? Dimes.
Must-haves.
Barber dimes. No,
Kidding.
Barber dimes. What came before Barber?
Bar.
What came before Barber?
Seeded.
Seeded dimes. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Seeded dimes and seeded half dimes. How many different directions could you go with that? How about what is the top pop in a seeded dime? Why are they so undervalued right now? What are some key points to look for on a seeded?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that they had mint marks that were above the bow and below the bow on certain years? And the fact that there is a very distinctive value difference based off the number of coins that were minted, depending on where the mint mark is.
That stinking $50 for 1853, the old mint mark. Oh my God, they're expensive. In decent grades, I'm saying. I mean, I could get a dog for probably $20, but I have the 1853 set that I got. I want, something really decent.
Right.
I got one half, the Philadelphia mint slab, donated to me by a very wonderful person who shall remain anonymous. And I've got everything non-gold except the 53.0 half, and I think the 53.0. No, I've got the half dime, the dime, the 53 dime. I've got a poor example of one. I just need a better one.
So, but now, I mean, there is 19 different things, different facets of just something simple, right? And 1857, 1856, 1853. Now, we can take the 1853, right? What is one thing that is very important to understand about 1853, about the 1853 seeded dime?
Get them thinking about it. Yep.
Arrows. Well, what's so important about arrows? Okay,
well, right here?
Right. That's exactly why I said it. Why are arrows on a coin important? Well, I don't know. Design. Well, no, actually it wasn't. It was silver content. It was the economics. It was there was all of this other stuff that made it important, and the fact that they had to change the design of the coin to differentiate between that coin, which had a different mix, versus the coin before it.
Too much.
Well, what? And you can get into a really good, I'm going to say conversation, because I almost said debate. A good conversation about, well, why did they have to change the design? Why did they have to add arrows? Why did they add arrows?
Why did they change the weight? What was the reason? Was silver getting more expensive?
Just right there. Like, why arrows?
Why you make arrow?
They could have put one arrow on.
Oh, this one's got some cool clashing too. Paul will dig this. All right, let me get straight. Sorry. Yeah, it's got from the rock. by the date. I don't know. You can kind of see it there. Let me move the light around a little bit. There you go. Now you can really see it.
There you go.
You can actually see some of the digits in the word, but it's not really showing up.
So,
But
and I would actually love to sit down and have a conversation just on something like that. Like, why did they add arrows on both sides of the date?
Yep.
Why not add something on both the obverse and the reverse?
Yeah, that is a good question.
If it was truly to denote that something changed the coin, why would you not then put it on both sides so that if you had, that coin with other coins, say silver content, that it wouldn't matter what side that you had it on, that you could tell exactly what it was.
Regardless of which side was up, yes.
Yeah, why only the obverse? Was the obverse easier to change versus the reverse?
I'm like just questioning in my head right here. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I just like I don't know the answer, but if to save money on dies, well, if they wanted to really save money on dies, why did they put in arrows? Why not a triangle?
A dot.
Because that can just be stamped into the die and not engraved.
Like they did with Canada, the dot.
Yeah, exactly.
That was pretty cool. Whoa, I was not anticipating that.
So it's I would love number one. I would love to actually find answers to things like that, if it even exists. I'm sure at some point, like that we'll, that we will figure it out or whatever, right?
Exactly.
Somewhere somehow. But like those kinds of things that to really take it like. To take a step back from a certain, from a certain topic like that, and like, okay, so they put arrows to denote the change in composition of silver for that year. Okay,
yes.
Why did they do that? And that was because it required legislation and the value of silver and like all of that stuff. Okay, so that's getting the history behind it. But let's take smaller steps back. Why did they put arrows? Why did they use 2 arrows? Why did they only put them on the obverse? Why are the arrows pointing away from the date?
Oh, there's clashing there too. I didn't even notice. Wow. Sorry. Go ahead.
And there's all these things that like why did they do that?
Why did they do that? That's not right.
But Mike, if it was a notice to store owners, why didn't they put it on the opposite side?
We're getting there's so many like cracked dies and everything from these designs being so full too.
That's true. But you have you have the arrows that they had been making coins for long enough that when you put a small detail close to a bigger design or close to the rim, that's where cracks are going to form, because that's the weakest path.
And they're
so why did they put these big giant fat arrows with these little back legs on them?
I've had them from one end to the other too, like cracks,
right,
on seededs.
And the guys that were making these dies were not inexperienced die makers. Like,
oh yeah, exactly.
They were seasoned veterans, and they know exactly what they're doing. So if they know exactly what they're doing, that still begs the question: why arrows? Why did they put them like that?
Yes. Was there like some kind of symbolism behind it? More than likely, but Okay, what was it?
And this is solely just because I'm curious. There
I like
there
to-
there
the
is
behind the scenes.
no. I mean, somebody could put somebody could put together a video that have all of these answers, and I would absolutely watch it because something like that it would just be interesting, right? Would just be interesting. I have watched videos that just talk about the 1853 and the fact that they put arrows on it to denote the change in weight of silver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's
It was like a 5-minute video, and I loved every minute of it because it gave me a piece of information about one particular coin.
little peek behind the curtain. That's what I like, the behind the scenes stuff too.
But it's like,
Knowing
and that's
the die
why
making process is fascinating to me too.
and that's why that I have that really long video about the 20 cent, because to really find out like about the 20 cent coin, like you actually have to step back like 7 to 11 years when the process actually started, really before it got to the point where it's like, oh, okay, hey, hold up, we need smaller change in the West, and this is the answer. And then you step forward and say, okay, they minted it, San Francisco, 1875. They got all these out. They minted 1.13 million. Blah blah blah. Oh, oops, we picked the same design that was on the quarter. That was only 5 cents bigger.
Oh,
and that was a big oops. So the public was like, "Are you guys stupid? Like, what are you doing?"
You think they would have learned before they made the Susan B. Anthony,
store owners just absolutely hated it because they were getting taken for 5 cents, and 5 cents was a lot, right?
And then the freaking V-nickel, the without cents on the back.
Yeah, the Racketeers nickel.
Yeah.
Same concept. So then with all of this garbage about the 20 cent, they're like, okay, this clearly was even though it's been in the works for 11 years. This was like a big we definitely dropped a ball on this one, and so they just brought all 800 and some thousand back to the mint, and they melted them. And so there's all of that history that led up to why is a 20 cent valuable? Well,
I wish I didn't sell that one that I had.
It's silver, and it was only minted for a couple of years, and the fact that 70% of them were melted, so the surviving population of them is low to begin with, and then you have the condition that, and then so you step forward that way.
When this happened, yeah.
So but that's why I try to do the entire coverage of where did this coin come from? What led to
this happening?
To this even existing? To this getting to the point where that this was that this was a thing, right? And then what happened after that? Same thing with some of the design changes is, and I did them on the small dollar coins, and I talked about, where did these designs come from? Why are these designs important? The fact that everybody balked at the Susan B because they used the moon landing on the reverse, because Susan B. Anthony had nothing to do with the freaking moon landing.
It did not.
And they're like, are you guys dumb?
Yeah, that's poorly done.
But that was the thing. So that, and the fact that that you are trying to convert the dollar, which is a dollar bill, and you can have a bunch more of those in your pocket that don't weigh near as much as a bunch of these single coins. Jeff says, I need to cut out and run through my flashcards one last time. CJ, let's discuss the idea of trivia scavenger hunt some more. Maybe bring me on some stream later this week or the weekend. Absolutely, Jeff Stanley. You got it, man. Have a good night. Good luck.
Tickety boo. Have a good one, Jeff. Thanks for stopping by, man. I always enjoy reading you.
Mike says they did not have time to design another reverse. Mike, they actually had another reverse. They had two different reverses.
Almost the same damn reverse as the Ike dollar, too.
No, it is. It is the same one. And that was the thing. And that was the thing. Or like, why are we still using this when these two things have nothing in common? When they had two separate designs that were actually that were actually turned down in place of that design, saying, "Hey, this makes sense. This is an important event that happened in our history, so we're going to stick with this." And that was the decision that was made.
Yep. Yeah, Paul. Trivia scavenger hunt. It was kind of like a brainstorming thing. I've got your idea that you had, and I got that idea, and I got it in a text file. So it's as opposed to, like I said, I was going to write this down. That's writing it down in the 21st century. Yes.
So for every single design change, they have a number of designs. Now, so for example, the 2010 Lincoln cent. Okay, we all know it as the Shield cent. There was 19 designs. Stop.
That was my lurch.
There was like 16 designs. It's 16, 17, 21. It's somewhere around there. That were finalists to be picked through.
Teachers, kids,
and
writers.
And it's so that the context for the Shield cent for the designs was there was a flag. There was an eagle. There was the Capitol building, and those were kind of the key design elements that they wanted the designers to build ideas around. So the one of basically they had it narrowed down to like three or five of them. The one that was chosen by the Commission of Fine Arts was one that was very similar to the 1920s German cent that had wheat stalks in the middle. And that's exactly why that decision was overruled, because it looked too much like the German coin. And there is where we got the shield design from.
So not cool. So boring.
So for every single design change, they have multiple designs. So they had a design that had an eagle for the Susan B. Anthony reverse. And that design was overruled, and the moon landing was chosen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the things that really led to added to the public unacceptance of
rejection.
Yeah, rejection. Thank you. Of rejection of the Susan B. Anthony dollar coin.
Utter contempt for.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, and that's why that 1979.
Oh, I'm still talking about the Shield cent, but okay.
Oh well, reasons.
SBA too, I guess. Yeah. I remember when they came out, and I asked my mom to get me a brand new one, like a proof one, and I guess she went to the post office or something, and they just gave her one like out of the till or something. I was looking at the picture in the magazine or the comic book or whatever it was I had at the time, And I was like, that doesn't look like that. That's called a proof. She was like, well, that's what they had. I was like, oh, okay. I do it for a while, and I think I probably spent it or something, I would imagine.
So I mean, we could do an entire segment on coin design and the process of. Now, I went into some of that when I did I did a video on the penny, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Was it the penny or just a shield? I can't remember. Anyway, I did a thing about a thing. There you go. And I did a video, and that's where I really kind of talked about part of the process and the governing bodies that exist. So you have you have the Commission of Fine Arts, and then you have the
Commission of Fine Arts, CFA.
You have the what is it? Like the committee of like regular people for coinage or whatever it is, and it's a decision between those two bodies of people that decide what the new design of a coin is going to be.
Pattern coins are extensive, Mike. You're right.
Oh, but I would love to get my hands on them. Because
some patterns. Those things are
and
especially the 1800s ones. Oh, the Morgan
coins,
patterns.
Pattern coins are. Oh, dude, some of those are butt ugly though.
They are. But
have you seen some of the just?
$3, yeah.
Somebody put a bucket on that because and
the bag on your face there with it.
And yeah, I mean there are so many things that, like when you have a pattern coin, like if you start getting into pattern coins, you are getting into a level far beyond nearly everybody collecting coins. Like I would consider it kind of the upper echelon, because now you are dealing in coins that basically don't exist because they're test pieces.
And they usually get destroyed for the most part anyhow. I mean, they'll present them in like ceremonies or whatnot, but
right. Man, you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of, man, I would love to get those special finish. God, what were they? Dude, what was it?
Don't blame me, blame Bill.
That the person that made the design of the coin, and they wanted to get paid. What?
Chief Engraver?
No, they wanted to get paid. They got paid in 5,000 of a special finish.
Oh yeah,
which one is that?
Oh, you're killing me, Smalls.
Right?
Oh man, please somebody Google that quickly.
Where's my
I have
book?
a cat on my arm and I can't type right now.
Oh, where's my book?
What's my name?
Goodacre.
Goodacre.
Goodacre. But what coin was it?
Eva? I don't
know. No, Eva was
Eva
was something else. Eva was a whole different.
Man's got it. I think. Kenzie. What?
The Sacagawea dollar. Yeah, there we go. So like what happened if some of those got out into the world? Like I would love to get my hands on one of those things, because you got to think about it's like you talk about rare coins. if you could prove that that was one of those special finishes, then you have guaranteed one of only 5,000. Period.
Yeah. You want
It's
to
like-
talk about rarity value,
Oh,
grade value, interest value.
oh, dude. Oh, absolutely.
Just like the everybody when they found out about the 64 possible special mint set stuff out,
the specials, they're called special strikes.
all of a sudden it's like we got flooded with that.
Well, that's because
actually have
those got quote unquote released
Yes.
at the same time, because it wasn't until after they raided Chica's safe that they were found.
Chica. That's right. Kenzie, could I please type?
No typing for you.
She's like, no, pay attention to me.
No soup for you.
No keyboard right now.
So I mean, there are so many different things that you could, that you could do. That you could do any number of things on.
Oh yeah. There's no lack of material.
Right, but if there's no lack of material, then why is the material not out there?
Where is the
I'm just saying, it's things I think about, for reasons.
Things that keep me up at night. Why?
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
I'm with
and
you.
there's and you can go back and you can look at a lot of different coins, and either the economy or politics absolutely play
New mines.
into the variation, the design, the demand, and everything for a coin.
The mintages.
Coin World, absolutely, man. I have no problem with that.
Oops, sorry, I missed something.
I have it's Coin World says, would it be okay to join you in a live stream soon? Absolutely. All day long, man.
That would be great. Have someone from across the pond on. That gets a. I don't even know if that came out. Did it go ding?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I mean, and this is something that we could talk about, coins in general, not even just American coins.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was just going to say I would love to learn more about. Well, my grandparents came here from the UK, and I love the British coppers, the big ones.
Well, how about the 2008 coat of arms coins?
Oh yeah, the shield one.
Yeah,
and your special goodies. That's so freaking cool.
What about those? Like, how awesome would something like that be if more countries did that?
United States.
Yes. And that's why I was like, I talked about in someone's stream that, like, dude, I was on a soapbox and I was off the deep end, because I was like, if they really wanted to sell coins,
Sure.
then how about this? You have a denomination of coins that is per state, because we talk about state quarters.
Mm-hmm.
What is stopping state pride from saying, for states to have their own $50, their own quarter, their own nickel, their own dime, and their own penny? How many more would people have to collect? Because now now you are reaching out to people in a more primal sense, because now if people really wanted to collect all of one thing, number one, that adds about 9,000 more coins to the list in order to get
so much harder.
right, because the state quarters are already like 274.
I know. Oh man, headache. Please don't.
And they are not making their own currency, but they are providing the designs just like the state quarters.
Yeah, like
say I wanted to put together a set of the state that I was born in, right? So I need to collect 6 coins from that state, something like that. What if I wanted to collect one for from the state that I was born in and the state that my significant other was born in, right?
Or like tokens or something.
Yeah, so like what about that? What if so that each state, made by the US Mint facilities, each state could have designs across denominations that reflected things that are important in their own state. They could still have the obverse of them, like the Washington, the Jefferson, but what about like the back of them, and they have things that represent more of their states? Because I think that it is yet another thing that if somebody is getting change, right, and they're looking through their change, and as God, there's designs all over this. And so I'm flipping here through my pennies. I'm like, I got this Wyoming, because I don't know anybody that lives in Wyoming.
I still run into people that I tell them about the state quarters. They're like, really? I didn't know that.
And they're like, hey, that thing is in Wyoming? I've always wondered where that was.
Yeah. Oh, Colorado. Cool. I've been there before.
Like, something like that. Like maybe it's California, maybe it's something, but it provides a different context
connection
to the denominations, and that goes back to the same idea as this royal coat of arms shield thingy, that in order to complete the design, you have to collect all 6 coins.
Such a great idea. I'm good. I'm sorry. That is such a great idea.
I'm just saying. I'm just talking out loud.
If you want to sell them, make them interesting.
Yeah, because I mean, you look at the history of our coins and how much that they have changed.
Mm-hmm.
Most, and I'm going to say most, and by most, I also mean like 85% most. Most of the coinage that we have, the designs have not changed for between 50 and 100 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't that beg
or change very little
to doesn't that beg to say, hey, we're in the 21st, 22nd century. Let's figure this crap out. Like, when you have other countries that, make us look like that we're still playing with monopoly money.
Freaking Niue alone with those silvers. Oh my
because,
God.
Like, the monopoly money is just like the couple of lines and then the one in the center. Like that's basically it. And that's exactly what our coins look like to everybody else in the world, right?
Exactly.
And then you look at some of these other
look at the see-through windows and
currency. Absolutely, the polymer. You've got coins. Cool. You've got bimetal, trimetal coins. You have polymer coins.
Yes.
What?
I know. I saw those built. In fact, I've got a couple here somewhere that have. I was like,
one thing that I was thinking about, and this is my own like fantasy imagination world that CJ sits in sometimes. I was like, what if, since we're so worried about the plastic, What if we just turned around and melted that plastic down and then made polymer coins out of that plastic?
There you go. Can be done. How about we have multi-pass?
Multi-pass.
Some people will get that, some people won't. Sorry.
I mean, they're.
I just watched that movie, by the way. It was on, I think it was Prime. Might have been Netflix, but I think it was Prime.
But I just think in terms of
Skip the middleman. Yeah.
of something new, because the mint has been working on something new and something to engage the people, hence why the state quarter program came out, because they know if people are collecting more coins, then they will sell more coins, which means they make more money.
I am going to grab some of those circulated S mints, though. Those definitely got my interest.
Absolutely. The uncirculated S, the state quarters. How about this? How about this one? You're going to love this one. How about the W's? You want to talk about the W's for a minute?
Yeah. W.
Exactly. Because now people know what to look for. It's very easily, and they are digging so heavily through them just to find these single quarters.
It has spawned like numerous websites searching through quarters.
Yeah. Now, just imagine if they did something like that for every denomination. What if they did that for nickels?
RPMs or something.
Well, what if they just changed the nickels, where one in 200 million, one every whatever the ratio is, that you have a special, some kind of special strike, right? Whether it's a West Point mint or we'll just go with that. A West Point mint nickel.
Okay, there you go.
Why not? How many boxes of nickels is everybody going to go through to look for that one?
Go back to freaking copper, like solid 95%. Go back to that and make some W pennies, and make them Wheaties. Or maybe not wheat, but like some kind of something different.
There are so many things that, and this is where like the politics and stuff, that's where that comes into play, because you have to get people to buy in on something like that, right? You have to get politicians to buy into that, and the only way that they're going to do that is to have some kind of I know some kind of incentive for them. Maybe I have no idea. But
kind of
what
akin to what PCGS was doing? You mean? Like if you're one of the first ones that finds one of these, you send it to us, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, maybe
something along those lines. Maybe not quite as severe, but yeah.
I
get you. Look, dude, I have to cut out. I just got a message from Google saying I need an update or something, and I think it might be a virus.
All right, man.
So rather than risk spreading it or anything like that, I'm going to contain everything and scan.
All right, man.
Okay. It's been great talking to you. It's always great talking with you. I love these forums. Everybody in chat, thank you very much. Appreciate the support. Y'all take it easy, and I'll catch you next time.
All right, Frank. Thanks for dropping in. So there's things that I just think about, and I wouldn't mind talking
talking about it out loud with you guys, just because these are the things that I think are really interesting. You know, I would love to be on the forefront of coin design, on the on the on the forefront of, you know, the things that are coming out next. I know the Coin World folks. I'm sorry, Coin Week folks. Talk about some of the things that are coming up. The articles in the Coin World publication. They talk about the things that are um, um, where was I going? The things that that they try to get, like the next, what's going to be the next thing. There is some information out there, but I like, man, it would be so much. It would be so cool to have more people be interested in what's the next. So, and this all rolls back into all the stuff that we've been talking about for 3 hours and 15 minutes and 52 seconds. That, you know, it's learning about the minting process, learning about coins, what makes coins what they are, what makes them valuable, what makes them rare, what makes them what is the significant pieces or the significant information about the designs, and why is all of that, and then to take that a step forward. What can we do as a community, as a driving force in the world to really help create what the next thing is going to be? There was one of the presidentials, or I'm sorry, not presidentials. There was one of the that the dollar coins that they solicited the public for insight in the design. And one of the things that was so unique about that time frame is that it was the beginning, it was kind of the infancy of the internet. So there was a public, you know, website where people could enter their thoughts and submit, you know, like a comment box. And I'm not sure exactly which group, if it was the Mint or whatever, that, and they also had email. So they were getting emails from the public, from the people that are going to be using this, whatever they designed. So it was really, you know, a much bigger, you know, clearer voice of the people on what they want to see. You know, a lot of coin enthusiasts would love to see more design in the coins. They kind of want to see less, you know, less of the plain designs and more of like the artistic designs, that like the Morgan dollars and some of the older coins, where they really have that artistic view of representation. There is a great number of people, I'm sure, that would love to see something like that back in our coins. There is nothing stopping us from really taking that idea and really taking it to the next step. What about having, you know, the design aspect from the public with the material aspect of the mint, and putting those together? And public competitions, they've had on several occasions, they've had public competitions and open competitions for designs of coins, and they've done that before. So like it's not even anything new, but I think they are really, it's really underutilized, especially when you look at
how interconnected that the world that our world is right now, and how many people are online, how much more information influence could you get out of your citizens for something new? It's all good, Coin World. Like there is so much more that could be done with that. And like, what's stopping us from doing that? I don't think that there is a lot, I don't think there is a roadblock. I think that maybe it's just easier to just do whatever. I don't know, but I'm sure if the Mint really came up with something that they either have a political aspect that they have to abide by, because a lot of the things that I've read on the process is the designers are really kind of handcuffed, or I mean they have a really a lot of red tape about what they can do to design a coin. Like this coin has to have, it has to have this, it have to has this, and it have to have this. So it has to have 3 or 4 things, and that's like non-negotiable items. And then once those things are done, well, there's not really a lot of room outside of that to really design a coin. Like that pretty much defines the entire side of the coin. So I think if some of those, that red tape, the restrictions were really taken away and let them open up, and really to give the designers that are there for that specific reason to design coins, to let them be artists like they are. They should be allowed to come up with some really, some really different designs, and those should really be embraced. And I think that's one of the things that that especially the American coinage and other coinage is really missed. So that's my thoughts on that subject. So it is 10:55 p.m. my time, and it is getting late. I will have to go to bed soon. So I will take this time to thank everybody for coming in and listen to me ramble for 3 hours, 23 minutes, and 3 seconds at this time. But I would like to do more open-ended subjects like this. I welcome anybody that wants to join me and talk about really anything coin related, and kind of where it may take us, and and with the idea that it's an open conversation. There are no wrong answers, and just to explore topics. So thank you everybody for coming in. Please hit the like button if you haven't already did. If you're listening to this ramble session after the fact, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. I appreciate your time, and I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for dropping in.